So normally on Tuesdays, Tony joins us, but no Tony this week. So I moved around and we have HardLeft, HardRight. So the thing that I got the most wrong from the previous week and the thing that I got the most right. And it's been our most college football packed show. And so I thought it was only right for my handful of college opinions that I've had the last couple of weeks to really dive into that. So the thing I was most right week one of college football and the thing I was most wrong week one of college football. Let's start on a positive note, hard right. And it's the Bill Belichick effect. Now, I did not predict a score for UNC TCU, even though I did think it was going to be very hard for them to win. But I've said this before. Bill Belichick is going to do two things immediately, and really one thing immediately, which is the point of this. He is going to increase the revenue, the publicity, the amount of eyes on UNC. Lawrence Taylor, Roy Williams, Michael Jordan, they're at that game for one reason and one reason only. Because the greatest coach in the history of football is now the coach for their alma mater collegiate football team. They're the only reason he's there. Bill is going to sell out tickets. I believe they've already sold out their season tickets for this year. Bill is going to increase eyes on the program. The money is going to go through the roof because he's there. You're going to see far more celebrities. It's exactly the Deion experience. You're going to see celebrities at these games. Now, a different kind of celebrity, the kind of celebrities that follow Deion, the kind of celebrities that follow Bill are going to be different. Don't get that misunderstood. But you're going to see celebrities at these games. You're going to see revenues at these games. The pure interest of these games are going to go up because you have Bill Belichick. And if you believe in Bill whatsoever as a defensive mind, he will figure out the 18 to 22-year-old quarterback. Now, he is going to be semi-limited because he also has to deal with 18 to 22-year-old defenders who probably can't learn some of the defenses he was able to install in New England for guys that this was their entire career. This was all they did was play football. And so there is probably going to be some limitations of what he can do. But he's going to figure out the 18 to 22-year-old quarterback. He is going to increase the visibility, the eyes, the celebrity, the bottom line. And so even if you're looking at last night and going, that's a bad look to get blown out in your first game, while Deion did win his first game against TCU, ironically, he had a losing first season in Colorado, and I think it's very likely and on the board that Bill has a losing first season at Carolina. But they're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to consider it. He's one of the greatest minds and coaches in the history of football. And when they see their bottom line, because of who they have in Bill Belichick coaching their football team, it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be okay. They'll look past getting blown out a few times. They'll look past having some bad losses. This is going to put visibility on the program. This is going to increase revenue. All the things that Deion did year one, Bill is absolutely going to be able to recreate. And he did. Again, Lawrence Taylor, Michael Jordan, Roy Williams, those are big names to be watching your debut at UNC. They don't go to that many UNC football games. I think Roy goes to the most, but you're not getting Lawrence Taylor out if that's almost anybody else as head coach. I say almost anybody. Obviously, if you were to hire a Saban or another all-time guy, yes, they would show up. But this is the power of Bill Belichick and what he's going to be able to accomplish immediately. The impact, the same things that Deion did. Now, he's not quite as polarizing as Deion. I'm not saying good or bad. He is not quite the same personality that Deion is. Obviously, that first drive where everybody's excited, Bill does his classic Bill face, which is no emotion, no feelings. And that's who Bill is, right? Bill is going to be true to himself, the same way Deion was true to himself his first year at Colorado. But even with the loss, that's exactly what UNC wants. That's exactly what UNC paid for. Celebrities, eyes, visibility, bottom line, year one, that's all you're really going to get. You're going to need to give them a few years, really 2 years of transfer portal / recruiting to really have the team look the way he wants to look, the same way it took for Dion. And he doesn't have Travis Hunter, and he doesn't have Shedeur Sanders. So, HardRight for the week. Bill Belichick, absolutely, even with the blowout loss, that's what UNC wanted. That's what UNC paid for. They got it. They enjoyed it. HardLeft. Man, look. I am new to my Alabama fandom, but I had a pretty confident pick in how they would handle Florida State. And while I spent earlier in the show not necessarily defending Deboer, but I'm not going to say I'm his biggest critic. I'm also not going to say he's the greatest coach I've ever seen. But that was a bad loss. That was a bad loss. And maybe the more this is a little personal, maybe the more correct part of HardLeft is that this is a very Justin thing to do. When I became a fan of the Denver Broncos, they had Mike Shanahan as the head coach. Mike Shanahan should be in the Hall of Fame. He has multiple Super Bowl rings. He's a legendary all-time coach, and most NFL offenses now use some version of what he did. He left after I became a fan. Shortly after. I remember reading that. I had a friend over, actually, and I remember looking at my computer. This is 2000, right before the 2007 season, and all I see is Mike Shanahan let go as the Broncos head coach. And I was like, huh. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, I think it was after the 2007 season, because 2008 was Josh McDaniels' first year. Like, okay. Then there were some years struggling, because we all know how the McDaniels experiment went. And then Denver didn't really rebound. They had the 1 year with Tebow. John Fox was okay, but really didn't rebound until they got Peyton Manning. Right. And then the coach didn't so much matter. They had Fox was obviously coach there with Peyton to start. Then they got Gary Kubiak, but Peyton really was the game changer for Denver. Deciding to then join, and I did it for family reasons, and I don't regret that. But then becoming an Alabama fan, post all the dynasty, post all the success, post Nick Saban retiring, I'm like, this is a very Justin thing to do. Don't be there when they're incredibly successful, one of the best programs in the country, probably the greatest college football head coach, maybe the greatest football coach ever, him and Belichick. No, go after. Get a little bit of pain built up. Get some callous. They should have won that game. And again, I don't think that Ty played as bad as people want to make it out to be. I do think the offensive line struggled a lot. I do think Ryan Williams struggled, the 3 drop passes. Like, there were other factors there that I feel made that situation worse than it should have been. But what I have, and I didn't bet, but what I have put everything I own on Alabama to win that game, 1,000%. And like I said, it's just a very Justin thing to be like, you know, this program and this team that has all the success, all these winning seasons, doing all these great stuff. Don't like them while they're winning. Go after. Yeah. So that's HardLeft, HardRight. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.